July the 19th, 2021 meeting. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to the minutes? Mr. Ford? A motion to approve, and a second by Mr. Harsh. All say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Does carry. Next, we'll go into the trustees report, financial summaries for July 2021. As you might imagine, very preliminary on a lot of this stuff. Your trustees report shows basic balances that we had, the trial balances on things. Starting out early, is there anything, any questions on any of that, or anyone know anything that needs to be brought to our attention? Anything on the trustees trial balance for July? Any questions on it? Okay. Mr. Ford asked the question if we closed out the year, finally and officially mayor. It's my understanding we have not yet. Is that correct?
Amy's been working on that, but we haven't closed it out yet.
She's been out with COVID, and it's hard for her to get all those figures together so she gets back in the office. Going over the summary financial statement, there again, as preliminary as it is, there's very few entries that's even been made for the first month of July. I think you can scan through it. I went through it. It's very, very little to almost nothing, which is pretty typical for this time of year. So many things get paid at the end of the fiscal year in June, and so you don't have a lot of things that are coming in early in the month. See anything there that was of any note or that had any problems? If there's any part of it that you want to discuss, please bring it up. See no need to go through it just line to line at this point. Any questions on any of this? Don't want to rush you. If you haven't had a chance to look through it, please take your time. Mayor, was there anything in that you wanted to bring up or bring to our attention?
No, sir.
Not through that, but entertain a motion to accept the reports. Mr. Gregory makes a motion. Have a second. Mr. Walsh makes a second. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. It is done. Thank you. I think we'll see a whole lot more to have to deal with next month. I'm sure we'll have our hearing by then. Two budget amendments for consideration tonight. The first one is the local park and recreation grant. Mayor, I'll let you explain that since you've been primarily the one involved in that, if you don't mind.
This is the improvements to Trey Park that came through Parks and Recreation Committee. We submitted a local Parks and Recreation Fund grant to the Tennessee Department of Environment Conservation to do improvements for ADA. That'll be for the parking spaces. They're not wide enough. The hashed off areas for the ramps are not wide enough. And then also They came out and did an examination of the sidewalk, and it did not meet ADA requirements going from those parking spaces into Trey Park. This will also be to extend the sidewalk up to into the pavilion that's there in the park. Right now, it's not accessible for anybody who has mobility issues. And also, as you go into the park on the left side, it would remove some of the existing equipment and replace it with a poured concrete area that's going to have some pad on top of it, along with artificial turf, and then two different pieces of equipment, but four total for that are inclusive. One of them's going to be a new type of merry-go-round that once it kind of recesses down into the concrete, so anybody with a wheelchair can go right up on it seamlessly. And then it has a braking system on it, so it can't go too fast and throw people off of it. And then there'll be three pieces of equipment that are called cozy domes. They kind of look like they're little cages you just be able to crawl over, except they're thicker. And then they're designed so that they have kind of a private space area that children that have on the autism spectrum can crawl in there and kind of have a safe space. So that's what this project is. It'll be the grants. The grant for this is it's a 50-50 grant. The project total was $188,000 something. So this grant's going to cover half that in reimbursement. As part of this, TDEC also came out and looked at the park and had some other safety concerns they wanted us to address while we're doing this. They do understand we're going to improve the totality of Trey Park in phases, but they wanted us to address some other safety issues right now, and they talked to us about some options. The most affordable option was to do some kind of like a faux wood fibrous type stuff we can put down as a surface for the next few years. They were okay with that. That's going to be about $46,000. So the 188 plus the 46 is where you get the 240 from. So that should be the total project. And like I said, we are going to get $98,000 back on that as reimbursement for the grant.
Questions? Mr. Ford.
I heard most of what you said. How much of that do we have to, is it legal grant? We gotta come up with that.
Yes, it's 50-50 grant. Let's see, improvement to Trey Park, as we went through the master plan process, improving Trey Park was the #1 item voted on by the public that they'd like to see the project going forward. So this is carrying out the master plan.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion to approve. Mr. Gregory makes a motion to approve. Have a second. Mr. Walsh makes a second. We have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? Any questions? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Does carry. We will present it to the full body next Monday night. Next one is we have two small ones. One's the ThreeStar Grant funding. This is just for the money coming in at this point.
Yes, sir, this is going to be, again, they've all moved to reimbursement grants, but this will be, it's a total of $47,500. This was a competitive grant for our ThreeStar program. The project that was determined by our committee was what's called wayfinding. It's basically new kind of directional signs, but they have kind of a theme that helps market your community, and it puts all your destinations in one sign as you have them in different areas, directing people to landmarks such as courthouse, the library, other places of interest. It's kind of economic development, tourism, and community development all in one. This was a recommendation as part of the 2016 downtown transportation study, recommended wayfinding in the downtown area. Then also retail strategies. The retail recruitment group that was retained by Industrial Development Board did a strategic plan that we also recommended doing wayfinding in the downtown area. We submitted that for this grant. So it'll be up to a total of $47,500. That'll be a complete 100% from the state. So we will get all those funds back.
So this is a reimbursement grant. We spend this and then ask for reimbursement, and then they send it back to us.
Yes, they've moved to that model with all their grants. They want you to submit your invoices and proof of payment, all that stuff along with it, and they're trying to not spend any funds they don't have to. So it's a reimbursement grant, but it's 100% up to $47,500. So if we spend $47,500, we will get 100% of those funds back.
Mr. Clary?
Yes, how many signs would this be?
I believe it was originally 12, but we may be able to get more mileage out of this grant. Working with Retail Strategies, they had originally put in their proposed budget to retain a design firm to design the signs. That would be $5,500. However, they do have some internal staff that might be able to do it, and they're already paid by the Industrial Development Board, so we may be able to move that $5,500 back into buying more signs. So at the time, it was 12, so we may be able to get more than that if we remove that $5,500 from administrative or professional fees back towards buying signage.
So will they be put on the main road coming into town, or?
Yeah, they'll be on the main highways and everything coming into town, and then in the downtown area, directing you around to specific sites.
Mr. Forrester, recognized. We have a motion to approve. We have a second. Second by Mr. Ford. Any further discussion or questions? Mr. Ford?
Am I gonna put the signs up there?
We're going to work with the highway department to put the signs up.
Any other questions? That was Richard Roosevelt Jones. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion to approve, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It is approved. We'll send it to the full body next week. Next is BA 10106. This is insurance recovery. This is, I think Sam had a little fender bender.
Yeah, Mr. Edwards is out at a work site, and he was driving up to a work site, and there was I guess a hole or something that was deeper than what it looked like, and when he went into the hole, a rock hit the bumper and dinged it up a little bit, and we turned it in on insurance. This is insurance recovery for that damage.
This is just money coming in. Are we gonna fix it? Did we, how to fix it, or are we gonna leave it like it is? You know?
We're going to fix it.
Mr. Ford? We have a motion by Mr. Ford to approve. We have a second. Mr. Gregory makes a second. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It is done. Discussion items, any of the commissioners have anything they'd like to bring up for us to talk about tonight? Mayor, do you have anything else for us tonight?
No, sir.
Mr. Ford?
Mayor, what is the status of the wall on the road?
Last I spoke to Mr. Scruggs, the engineering firm, having to go back and redesign it because it seems they've got his project confused with another one, so the design they gave him was incorrect, and so they were going back to redesign it, and he was also working on the documentation to rebid that.
Anything else, Commissioner? Public comments, is anyone here from the public that would like to make any comments? Chris, are you awake? Okay. Mary Ann? Randy? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Make a motion to adjourn. Mr. Walsh gets that motion. Mr. Ford makes a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.